Appreciate it, sir. Javante, thank you for having me back here. It's always appreciated. Um, let me just double check. Can everyone hear me clearly? And can everyone see me? Is first thing to say and ask.
Loud and clear and crystal clear. The people came for the early seats.
Shout out to everyone who's in here. So let's jump into the topic, which is creating content that actually gets people to buy, or creating content that actually sells. So first things first, let me find out from everyone who's in here kind of where you're at in your business and what it is that you do. That's the first thing for me to ask everybody. So if you could come off mute, we could start with you, Craig, and then we go to Kenita, and then I'll tell you.
Brand new, just starting.
Brand new, just started in what arena, what business industry?
Selling products to consumers who have autoimmune problems such as cancer.
Right. Okay. So some products. Kenita, I hope I said that correctly. What business are you in? If you wouldn't mind telling us.
Okay. Hello. It's Kenyatta.
Kenyatta, how you doing?
What was the question again?
I wanted to ask, what business are you in?
I'm the owner of Columbus Mobile Notary. I help, notarize documents, prepare legal documents, prepare, estates, living wills, trust, power of attorney. So, yeah.
So notary services.
Yes.
Cool.
Legal document services as well.
And legal documents. Mr. J.
So if you need a will done, I'm the person to contact.
Excellent. Wills, probates, everything.
Yes, I do it all. And then we're going to add mobile drug testing and DNA testing here in a little bit. So this time of year, it'll be 100% official.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes.
Excellent. Vante, tell us, sir, what do you do?
I'm a business and leadership coach. I help service-based businesses build profitably, particularly mission-focused business. I also work with nonprofits and healthcare organizations.
Excellent. Cool. For anyone who's just joining in, Teresa, welcome. My name's Oye. And I was just going around the room, kind of asking everybody what it is they do and understanding where everyone's kind of at with their business. Ellie, I already know you, so I know you're the brains and the service behind the I Build movement, so I already know what you do. The one question which I want to kind of ask everyone is this: where are you kind of stuck in terms of creating content in your business? That's the one thing I kind of want to know. So if you guys either want to come up mute or drop it in the chat, let me know, because that allows me to kind of tailor what it is I'm going to teach and talk about today.
I guess for me, it's Kenyatta. The content, I know my target audience and who I'm trying to, reach out to and trying to market to is honestly the younger community in the African American community, to educate them, about the do's, the don'ts, the whereabouts and everything. But the content, like, I don't want to just make a flyer and then you see the flyer and you just throw it away and it has no purpose or value to it. I honestly don't, how should I say? I don't want to invest $500 in thousands of flyers and then 99.9% of them go in the trash. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll digitalize it before I paper print it because it's cheaper, type of deal.
Definitely.
I'm going green, saving the world. But if my flyer is reaching, I'd rather it have value than just, it's just another flyer. It's something in somebody's mailbox or something like that. So I guess I want my flyer to hold value instead of just being it's a regular flyer.
Gotcha. Very cool. So you're currently doing offline content then with flyers. Are you doing any online content?
Yes, I do online content. I have, a business page. I was posting every day. I kind of cut back due to, time.
Right.
Time is the essence. But I'm slowly getting back to, posting stuff every day, trying to, send out informational values of, hey, invest in your future because your future is going to invest in you type of deal.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Craig or Teresa, would you guys like to give me a little bit of understanding of where you're at with your content? Are you offline or are you online?
This is Teresa.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
Excellent. Thank you for joining us.
Okay. So you're welcome. I have a themed Airbnb and it's a 70s theme. So it's a really cool look, but I want to get more after talking to a bunch of people. They said it's a great content creation space. So I want to target more like my Airbnb. No one's going to look on that for Airbnb, but they're going to look at it for like maybe potential content creation. So I want to get more posts and stuff. I'm just not great at posting at all. I'm just not even my personal page. I'm terrible. So I want to get a more, I guess, make it jazzy and unified where people really want to not, want to book my space for like Peerspace or Gigster or Splicer or whatever, those different platforms. So that's kind of what I'm struggling with now is just, I mean, I'm going to have a friend do some stuff, but help with posting, but everybody might start posting all jazzy and stuff. And I'm not good at that stuff. And so I guess I just need to get better at that sort of thing.
When you say posting jazzy, what do you actually mean? Because
Just something that's going to draw the person in because it's all about, they're going to want to look at the space and say like, oh my God, I want to do, have content there. So I want it to make it attractive to somebody that wants to be in that space.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Looks like Craig may have dropped out for a sec, but excellent. So the reason why I kind of started with this is basically what we always want to kind of do first before we create content. And it's basically creates the house for the person as opposed to creating the person for the house, right? That's the reason why I took the time to kind of ask everyone kind of like to get an idea, okay, where you at? What is it that you do? Where are you at in terms of creating content and what are you trying to achieve? Because when you know what the people that you're trying to serve, when you know what their goals are, that's when you can kind of create a blueprint or a map for them, right? So the very first thing is to kind of figure out what are the pain points that people, especially if you're going online. So I'm going to talk primarily online, but I will also go offline. But I'm going to also marry how you can use online to push your offline and vice versa. So that's again going back to the whole stage one is to kind of understand, okay, what is it people actually need and how can I create this? So we're all in our different spaces and we all primarily, I think we all have service-based businesses in here, but whether it's service-based or it's product-based e-commerce, the principles still apply, i.e., you need to understand what it is that people want first, understand the questions that are being asked, understand the pain points that they have first, and then create the content around them. Like I said, you're building the house for the person as opposed to trying to build the person for the house, which is way harder, right? So there are a bunch of different tools out there which can be used. And I'm going to probably go through the process of showing you how to use these tools in your individual businesses and how these can help actually get to the point of what you're trying to do. I remember, Teresa, you were saying about having more jazzy sort of content that you can pull up. At the same time, Kenyatta, you were saying you don't just want to create flyers that just ain't for everybody. Craig was talking about the products for people, autoimmune disease, all these sort of things. So the very first thing I want to say is this: listen to what people actually are looking for. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to use certain tools. So I'm going to talk about a tool that allows you to discover the questions that people are asking. I'm going to then also talk about a tool that allows you to actually search those topics that people are asking about to see which ones are the most popular, right? Then we're going to talk about actually creating those pieces of content in a long form and short form, and then distributing those pieces of content in a way that actually gets people to take the desired action that you want them to take, which is to come back to your main party and then become part of your world, whether it is they become a customer or they become a lead, then become a customer or subscribe or whatever it is the action you want them to take is. So the process, I like to break things down into simple processes. Find out what it is they want, create it in a way that makes them know, like, and trust you, and then get them to do the thing you want them to do, whether it's to pay you, subscribe to you, become a lead, whatever it is, right? So those are the three things that I look for. What is it they want? Get them to know, like, and trust you. Get them to do what it is we want them to do. So let me see if I can share my screen. Hope I can. Yes, I can. Right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Awesome. Cool. So three tools I'm going to say, which we can use to actually find out what people are asking for. And this is stage one. Let's listen to what people are asking for. Literally what I did with you guys first. I asked you all, what is it you're trying to do? Let me try and understand it. So I was trying to understand the people so I can now build the house for them, as opposed to, again, trying to build the person for the house. Let me build the house for the person instead. So answer Socrates. This is one tool which I'm going to say is really good because it allows you to find out from the internet what people are interested in. So let's use some examples. Teresa, give me a topic that you are interested in, and then Kenyatta will come to you, and then Javante will come to you as well. So, Teresa, give me a topic. Let's run through the exact same process I would do.
Okay. As related to my business or just anything?
Let's relate it to your business. Makes it more valuable.
Unique content creation space.
Okay. So unique content creation space. Or let's say, what is it? A content house. No, content house, because that would be that's the lingo most content creators would use. Content house. Yeah, most content creators would say, oh, wow, I spent content like that. Yeah, most creators would use the term content house as opposed to unique content creation. And what this tool does, basically, it brings back topics and questions around this specific topic. The why it's taking the song, I'm not too sure. Very strange. Press that. Just in case. Why is it today that you decide to be iffy? And if that tool's not working, let's use the other one that we also use, which is, I'm sure most people know about this one, but if you don't, it's a really good one as well. It's called Answer the Public. The first one was called Answer Socrates. This one is called Answer the Public. Again, it's a very similar concept. So you type in Content House, and then it should, yep, this one's working. So it's now bringing up different topics and questions around the topic of Content House, and it's going to allow us to see. So first thing I'll do is I'll click on the data side. So what are content houses? Can content and house contents be sold before probate? Okay. How content houses might be. So I'm assuming these might be content creators. Houses out there. How do content houses make money? How do content houses work? How to join a content house? So before we've even gone further down, I can say whoever Maddie Webb is, I'd probably just Google that person and Verena, and just to see who they are, because it sounds like they may be content creators, which may give you ideas of influencers you could partner with, i.e., do a live with this person to talk about your content house with them. But at the same time, how many content houses are there? Not really a topic that I need to discuss, but how do content houses make money? Now, if you were going to sell a course on how to create a content house, this would be a good topic. How do content houses work? Also another good topic. How to join a content house. This would be a great topic for people who are actually looking to become your customers. So in, I guess, 5-10 minutes, we've been able to find some topics, but then it goes all the way further down into other iterations of that topic content house. And again, it gives you ideas which people are looking for. Now, the thing with this is it shows you via these color codes, which are highly searched, average search, lower search, and all of that. So you have a way to identify which topics to actually focus on, because those are the highly searched topics, and then which ones not so much to focus on. But the heavy lifting has kind of been done, because this is going to find out the topics. You then going through it could probably come up with about 20 topics to actually create around, and then deliver them to your audience via your Instagram platform, your YouTube, your Facebook, TikTok, or whatever it is. So that is stage one. Is that helpful so far?
Yes, it is.
Great. Give me a topic and let's see.
Creating family trust.
Creating family trust. Yeah. Let's go back to, with the free version, we only get 2 a day. So say family trust.
So you can subscribe and get more, correct?
Yeah, you can subscribe and get more. Yeah, if you wanted to.
Did we use our 2?
Yeah, I think we may have used our 2 for today, but we still have Uber Suggest, which is another one that we can use.
Oh, let me write down.
So let's type in family trust. Let's see. Uber Suggest and Thingy are the same. That's the reason why it's not.
Okay, so basically like how you did the last one, you would type in, you know, your content that you are trying to create, and it pulls and generates.
Yes, exactly like that. And it'll basically give you the different iterations around that topic. And based off of that, you can then go and create the content that's more highly searched and resonates with you and resonates with the customer you're trying to attract. So there are 2 things which you kind of want to always know right from the start. One, you want to know what it is people are interested in, right? The second thing is you want to know the type of person you want to speak to. For instance, I'll give you an example with us. We could type in something like web design, right? And it would bring something like free website, free web design, create website for free, easy websites for free, those sort of things. Those aren't those aren't subjects that are necessarily applicable to the type of customer we're looking to get. So we wouldn't necessarily say, oh, those are great topics for us to create. But something like how to create a business website. Now that is something that is relevant to us because it's someone who's looking to create a website for their business. So that sort of topic we can then pick, okay, this one is a good topic. It's highly searched. Let's go create that sort of topic and then create content around it and then put it on our Instagram, our YouTube, our Facebook in different iterations. And based off of that, you can then start creating the type of content that your people who are actually interested in are looking for and make it presentable for them to find you. That is the process of this. I would probably say that's the first half of the circle. The other half of the circle is when you now take them from just knowing, liking, and trusting you from the content that you create to then taking that step further to becoming a lead or a customer or coming into a deeper level of your ecosystem, i.e. they become a subscriber onto your email list or onto your text mailing list or something like that. Or they're always on your lives when you shoot your lives, or they're always commenting on your YouTube videos. That's how you bring them closer into your ecosystem through the content that you create, because now they're getting to know, like, and trust you more. With everything online, that's really the process. Get them to know you first, get them to like you, then get them to trust you, right? And you do that with the content that you create. With us as an example, again, we create content that we know people are looking for, but within that, we have different buckets. Show we know what we're talking about. Position us as an authority on what we're talking about. Allow people to work with us on what we're talking about. Those are kind of the buckets that we use, and they come in different iterations, right? So when you are, again, creating content for your Instagram or your TikTok or your YouTube, don't feel like you need to overwhelm yourself with creating this for this, that for that, this for this, that for that. No, you can just have three different buckets. And within those content buckets, you create, okay, I'm going to have one bucket that allows people to know that I know what I'm talking about. Then I'm going to have one bucket that allows me to showcase that I know what I'm talking about. So if it's me speaking with a client or me creating a website, or it's me creating a design, right, on something else, like, so that's showcase. And then you can have a Q&A session or Q&A content, which those actually work really well because they kind of do both. They showcase you as the authority and they show that you know what you're talking about. So the Q&A could be your third bucket. Obviously, these are just examples, but it's so that you know that it doesn't have to be overwhelming. Like with Teresa, you could have your content house. Okay, here's a place where you can shoot this sort of content. Boom. Then you can talk about why a content house is really important. Q&A, how to understand the terms and agreements with a content house and to make sure that the content house is being fair to you. That could be the third bucket. So with those three things, you've created three different topics, three different pieces of content that are actually going to attract the type of content creator you're looking for and position yourself as the authority for them to get them to, again, know, like, and trust you. But this is still the first half of the semicircle. The second half is where you push them to joining your mailing list, your text list, becoming a lead, getting your lead magnet, becoming a customer. That's the other half. So we're still on the first half. We're then going to go to the second half of the circle. How are we doing so far? Is everybody understanding what I'm talking about? And make it as non-techy as possible.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Oh, sorry, I just got a message. Say, I just saw your message. You got kicked off your meeting. That's funny. Cool. So now the other thing, which is kind of like the stage 2 of this whole process, is actually trying to understand the interest or the demand from the market in your particular topic. So let's use content and go back to it. Try and get public. Okay, yeah, just bring up that content house report. And we are going to use a keyword tool to actually gauge the interest from the market. Again, this does help and it does show the search. It does show if it's highly searched or not through the color codes. But at the same time, we can actually take the pieces of what's it called, keywords that are presented here and put them in a keyword tool itself and actually see if those keywords are actually searched highly month on month. And that's what a keyword tool will actually help you do. So let me try and if we can get some of the data. So let's look at this one. How do content houses work? So let's take that. And now I'm also going to give you another tool, which is SEO Pass. So SEO Pass is a good keyword research tool that is also free, and you can use to get keyword ideas and also get keyword data. So how do content houses work? Let's see what that brings up. Let's get to the actual keyword research to show. That is very strange. And if it does actually not bring up anything, I tried in one other word tool, which is this one as well. It's your review tool. It's to verify I'm not a robot. I'm not a robot. So, yep. Okay. So this one is up some information. Oh, so it actually doesn't have that much how the content houses work. So yeah, this actually shows it doesn't have that much search volume. So before you go ahead and actually create this content, you could check from this and it could tell you actually you shouldn't create this content just because there's not that much search volume for the topic. So in that way, you don't waste your time creating content for a topic that doesn't actually work. One other place which I will also use to double check this is YouTube. And because YouTube is also a search engine. Okay, so on YouTube, why all content houses fail, the influencer bubble, money works. It's because it's deep in college to be TikTok famous. So we can see from YouTube that there is an audience for it, but with the different titles. So the subject matter is the same, but the title itself is different. So instead of how do content houses work, why all content houses fail seems to be more in search. Same with this influencer bubble, how many works, this, 4,000, 1.5 million views. So instead, you can create a topic around this, which is more iterated, but more to what you're looking for. So those would be the steps that I would take in terms of actually validating the topic. So first of all, we go and see what are the topics people are looking for. That's stage one. So we can create the house for the people. Then we look at all the iterations that come out of it. Then we validate with keyword tools such as YouTube, SEO Pass. You can use either SEO Pass or SEO Review tools. But again, it's not so much a science as it is an art. The science is in getting the data. The art is in you using your human intelligence to identify, okay, this particular keyword phrase isn't what's working, but there is an audience for this particular topic, right? And that's kind of the process that you would use when you're creating content. And the thing is with this, you can do this maybe within 2 hours and have about 10 topics that you can use to then go and create 10 topics on your YouTube, your Instagram, and your TikTok, depending on what platforms you want to do. One thing, again, we're still on the first half of the circle. One other thing I also want to add is this. Don't feel like you have to create topics every single day. Instead, a much better hack is this. Create topics on one particular day, right? And I say this because if you create 10 pieces of content on a Sunday, you have 10 weeks of that content to use, right? If you create 20 pieces of content in 2 weeks, you now have 20 weeks to use if you're going to post it one a week, right? For instance, on YouTube, this again is the hack. I would create a long piece of content, then post it on YouTube, then use a tool like vid.io or video.ai or Content Fries, where I would put that piece of content into that tool and it will automatically chop it up for me into little pieces of content with the interesting bits for me to then post on Instagram. So we've gone from creating one piece of content, which is say 30 minutes long or an hour long on a particular topic that we validated is interesting, like content houses. We post that on YouTube. Then that's 30 minutes to an hour on YouTube. We then take that one piece of content, put it in video.ai or Content Fries, and let that chop it up into the most interesting bits, which could be 10 pieces from that 1 hour long video. We can then have 10 days worth of content from that one piece. So then think about it. If you then do 4 pieces of long form video, you could then have 40 days worth of content only because you created 4 pieces. And if you wanted to post every day, which is what I would suggest you post 1 piece of content every day. You now have, from one Sunday of creating 4 long pieces, you now have 40 days worth of content. Now that is the hack on how you do the content every day strategy. You set aside one content day, which for us is a Sunday, where we would film 3 hours or 4 hours worth of content, or it could be 4 30-minute pieces of content, put that into the tool to chop it up for us, then take out those pieces and post them intermittently on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever, YouTube Shorts and whatever. So it's a case of taking long form, chopping it up into short form. So that is the hack. That is still the first half of the circle, right? So we've talked about how do we identify the content that people want? How do we validate that content? Now, how do we distribute that content? First of all, how do we actually hack the content by creating a lot of it through a long form? Then we cut it down to small pieces and then distribute it. Now, at this point, from one day of you content in, you have a whole month worth of content, which you can schedule yourself or you can have a VA do for you, right? Which then means you have a whole month of actually working on your business as opposed to working in your business, because you spent 4 hours on a Sunday creating a month's worth of content and you had the tools that helped you chop them up, right? So that now completes the first half of the circle. The second half is now, how do we actually get people to buy? And we're going to make that interesting as possible. So let me ours as an example. So let's go to your channel. So this is our YouTube channel where we are at currently. And we have different pieces of content which we use the exact same way, which we chop them up into smaller pieces. From this 1 hour video or 2 hour video, we'll then have smaller pieces, which we then post on Instagram stories, Instagram reels, and all these other things. But where are we sending these people to? That is the most important question. You have to set up a party that people want to come to, have them know, like, and trust you. But at the same time, where are we sending these people who now know, like, and trust you to? And that is where you have to have a party. From having your offers, are you going to have a lead magnet that you want to provide to them, right? Do you have a course that you want to get them into? Do you have a done for you service, which you want them to book an appointment with you to discuss? Do you have a challenge that you want to get them into so they know you more, and then they get your course at the end of it, get your mastermind at the end of it, or get your done for you service at the end of it, right? That's where you use things like call to action. So for instance, I'm going to click on this one. Just going to pause it now. And then in the description of this content, we'll see have various call to actions, right? So all the connect with me, work with. And this is where, again, it takes us to this party that I discussed. So if you want to work with us, you could click on this link and then it will take you to the gateway to our party that we've created, right? And that is, if you need help with creating your website, if you need help with getting more customers, if you want to come on the show, this is the gateway to our party here. So here, you could get this. Book now to discuss your website. That's one party snack. 6 steps to our webinar. That's another party snack. Our book. That's another party snack. You need more customers. Here's another party snack. Our lead magnet, another one. But these are all for the type of customer that we know is looking for us and wants to work with us. So the party that we've created is catered specifically to that type of customer, right? So again, be a guest on our show, Q&A if you have any questions, watch our episodes and more. So this is the other half of the circle. The first half is getting people to know, like, and trust you by understanding what it is they want, make them know, like, and trust you, right? Understand what they want, create the content around it to make them know, like, and trust you, distribute that content, right? You have the hacking and all those things in between, but those are the 3 main things. Now, underneath that, the other part of the circle, now they know, like, and trust you is creating a party for them to come to, them to either become a lead into your ecosystem through some way, shape, or form, become a customer, become a subscriber, or whatever it is, whatever the call to action is. The gateway to your party is where all these people who know, like, and trust you now, enjoying your content and all these other things are now going to be able to come into to actually either spend with you or dig deeper into your ecosystem. And that's how that whole cycle works. From someone not knowing you at all to then being able to discover your content because it's something they're looking for. You create something that they're looking for, you attract them. They then come in, they say, oh, this person actually knows what they're talking about. What will then happen is they will then go look at other things, especially if what you create resonates with them or answers their question. They'll look at other things that you've created and then be like, oh, yes, this person definitely knows what they're talking about. We want to work with them or we want to learn more. They go from there to know, like, and trusting you to then seeing what do they have to offer. Now they're into your party. Then they can decide which party packs they want to get involved with. And that is, in a nutshell, the circle of how you create content that is actually what people are looking for and pushes them along the cycle to them for them to actually come in and buy stuff from you and work with you in whatever business you are in. This blueprint works in any business. Yes, you can use these tools to make it easier, but that blueprint of first half of the circle is getting them to know, like, and trust me by me knowing what it is they want, to me creating what it is that they need, to then on the other side of the circle is them coming into the party and actually going in further into your ecosystem, becoming a lead, a subscriber, or a customer. I hope that makes sense, that it has been simplified and has helped everyone kind of understand this process of creating content that actually helps you sell and helps people to buy. The one important thing I want to say is this: don't focus on saying, oh, I need to make content that's going to get people to buy. Focus on making content that people want and helps them. The moment you do that, they will want to buy from you regardless, because you're the person who has solved their problem without even knowing it. So I hope this has been useful and I hope that's been helpful. And if we have any questions or there's anything anyone wants me to explain a little bit further, I'm happy to.
That was really good. I do understand it's a lot, but I do understand and I get it. And it is helpful for sure.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm glad it was helpful.
Yes, it was very good. A lot. It was a lot. I have a notebook full of notes. So yeah, you just got to reach your, target. You got to know your target audience to be able to reach and connect. So yeah, it's a good breakdown.
I'm glad it was useful. Oh, actually, something which I forgot was the offline. It was the offline content to online content. That's the last part I forgot to add in. So I know we talk about flyers and you don't want to invest in flyers and all of that. Now, because you now know this blueprint, rather than just creating a flyer hoping it's a flyer that people want, you can create content around what you know people are interested in, then create a flyer for an event that those sort of people would want, right? And the reason the reason why I say this now is this: with events, especially virtual events, I could speak more for virtual events than offline events. Virtual events, you always want to create a list of people who are interested in that event first before you actually create the event. What I mean by that is this: let's say I'm having a funnel for building your website or whatever, and how to create your business website from scratch over the next 5 days. I would first, before doing the challenge or whatever, I would first build a list of at least 100 people who are actually interested in that topic, right? The next thing I would then do when I have that 100 list is I'll say, okay, the date's going to be this. And I'd probably make it 3 weeks away, but you can buy tickets now, early bird tickets, which may be slightly cheaper than full price tickets. Using that to gauge and based on that interest will tell me if what I'm doing is actually having some traction amongst the people, right? Because if 100 people are on that list, and that's just to begin with, I'm still going to try and build it to maybe 500, 600. But if 100 people are on that list and out of that 100, 10 people actually bought the tickets, then I know, yes, this is something that the more people I can get in who are primed for this event, then the more likely it is it's going to be more filled out, right? But I started first with actually building that list. I didn't just go and create the flyers and hope they wanted it. I first created a list of the people who claim to be interested in that. Then I gauged their interest. Based on me gauging that interest, I then allowed the tickets to be bought and all these sort of things. And then we have a date for the event to actually happen. So it's kind of using your online to push your offline. If we were to do this with an event offline, it would be a similar thing. Let them buy tickets to go to the event space or wherever the event's going to be happening at the venue. That would then allow you to then say, okay, cool. We have 50 people who bought tickets. I'm going to go speak to the venue, book it for that date or whatever. Or if you already had an agreement in principle with them, you can now say, yeah, we're definitely going on this date. Here's a deposit, boom, 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 boom. As opposed to you building from the back first, you can build forward because now you know you have people who are interested. You can then go in and book the place or book the venue. And you know you're going to have a profit because people have actually paid you before you've had to put on the event. So that's how you kind of link the offline and the online. The most important thing for anything is first building the list.